God will only elevate you after He has removed these things, because before growth becomes visible, separation usually happens first. Sometimes God removes comfort, sometimes distractions, sometimes even people, not to punish you, but to prepare you. And if your life has been feeling unfamiliar lately, this may be the reason why. Here are 7 things God often removes before He changes your life. Number 1, comfort. The first thing God removes is comfort. And this surprises people because comfort feels like a blessing. But comfort can quietly become a prison. It convinces you to stay where you are, to settle, to stop growing. Some people pray for change, while holding tightly to the very things keeping them exactly where they are. Revelation 3:15-16 says, "I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." God takes lukewarm seriously. The place that once felt normal may suddenly feel too small. Not because you've become better than others, but because God is making you different. Discomfort is often the first sign that God is moving in your life. Number 2, certain relationships. The second thing God removes is certain relationships. And this is one of the most painful parts of growth. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into every season of your life. Some connections were assignments, some were lessons, and some, as hard as this is to hear, were distractions. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." God takes seriously who you walk with, because the people closest to you either push you toward your purpose or pull you away from it. And while separation can hurt deeply, peace often follows it. Not every goodbye is a loss. Number 3, the need for approval. The third thing God removes is the need for approval. There comes a point in every person's life where God begins teaching them how to stop living for validation. Because people will misunderstand you. Some will doubt you. Some will leave when you stop shrinking yourself to fit their expectations. Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." You cannot fully serve God and constantly seek human approval at the same time. The moment you stop needing everyone to understand you, you become freer than you've ever been. And sometimes that freedom is exactly what God was trying to give you all along. Number 4, distractions. The fourth thing God removes is distraction. And not everything distracting you is evil. Some distractions are simply keeping you unfocused. Constant noise, constant busyness, constant comparison. And slowly, your attention becomes divided. Your peace weakens. Your clarity fades. Your purpose gets buried beneath everything competing for your attention. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still. God cannot give you direction when your mind is constantly crowded. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is simply be quiet enough to hear what He's been trying to say. Number 5, pride. The fifth thing God removes is pride, and this one is uncomfortable because most people don't recognize pride in themselves, but pride destroys what wisdom could have protected, and before God elevates anyone, He often humbles them first, privately, quietly, sometimes painfully. Proverbs 16:18 says, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." The delays, the disappointments, the closed doors, the moments that forced you to depend on God were shaping humility inside you. Because humility is not weakness. It is the foundation that everything God builds in you will stand on. And what is built on humility cannot easily be destroyed. Number 6. Old habits. The sixth thing God removes is old habits. You cannot step into a new season while feeding old patterns. Some habits comfort you temporarily while quietly destroying your future. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformed, not just improved, not just adjusted, transformed. And often before God changes your environment, He starts changing your desires. Things that once satisfied you begin to feel empty, not because life is getting worse, but because you are changing. And that emptiness is actually an invitation to be filled with something better. Number 7. Fear. The seventh thing God removes is fear. Fear keeps people trapped in places they were meant to outgrow. Fear says, "What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? What if it never works out?" But 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." God did not give you that fear. So when fear speaks, recognize whose voice it is, and choose not to obey it. Because faith cannot grow where fear controls every decision, and sometimes God allows situations that force you to trust Him more deeply than you ever have before. Because many people want change, without realizing change requires surrender. So there they are. 7 things: comfort, certain relationships, the need for approval, distractions, pride, old habits, and fear. Because God cannot build something new on a foundation that hasn't been cleared. And what feels like loss right now may actually be the beginning of everything He promised you. The beginning of your elevation. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." He has a plan. He has always had a plan. And everything being removed right now is making room for that plan. Thank you for watching. If this message spoke to you today, share it with someone going through a season of change. Don't forget to like and subscribe for weekly devotionals straight from God's Word.